Heinrich Kreft. I'm a German diplomat, but currently professor here at András University. Thank you very much for your presentation, and given your deep knowledge on China, I would like to press you a little bit more on the issue you just touched already upon. You mentioned China will play a role in a peace settlement or in a ceasefire, whatever we will see in Ukraine, Russia. Given China's interest in sovereignty of a state, integrity of borders, of territorial integrity, what could you imagine? What could be China's role in such a process? It will be a process, and I totally agree with you. It will take a long time, and what we might see the end of this year will be very different what we might see in a couple of years from now. But given your very deep knowledge of China, what could be China's role, China's position in this?
They will not try to make specific proposals. They will make suggestions in certain directions. It's a very Chinese way, where you don't want anybody to lose face. So they say, have you considered this? And then by little hints, they will try to find feasible zones. Now, right now, there's no feasible zone. And the Americans don't want China to play a role. And China doesn't want to interpose itself. It's just saying, I'm here. If you think I can help, I will help. If you don't think I can help, it's okay. It's okay. If South Africa, if Brazil, if the Pope wants to help, well, maybe they can help. And maybe we can help together. That's the kind of position China takes. But China has one advantage. It can put money. It can rebuild infrastructure. You see? And that will make any solution easier because you can help people. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I see them playing a role.
Thank you. There's one question. Can you make it quite quick? We've only got about 5 minutes left.
Certainly, yeah, thank you. There was a lot of talk about China, about the US and Europe, but much less about Singapore. The founding of modern Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, is considered to be a great statement. And if you could elaborate what memories you treasure of him and what you think made him such an outstanding statement. Thank you.
You're talking about Lee Kuan Yew?
Yeah. What made him outstanding?
He had range. He could go into great detail on a specific subject, like greenery, like the environment. And he also had a sense of history. I don't think he was not a historian. And neither did he have a deep knowledge of history. But he had a sense of history. And he had a sense of China. Above all, he was a political realist.
Yeah.
I'm writing my third book of musings will be published at the end of August. I have 2 chapters on working with Lee Kuan Yew. So in it, I said, my own sense of him is when he interacts with somebody, the first step in his algorithm is what is a power relationship. I've seen him deal with his political enemies. I've seen him deal with US presidents, Chinese leaders. I've seen him deal with service staff, drivers. And with him, the power relationship comes first. He adjusts to the power relationship. If I have power over you, I can be very polite. Because you will be polite to me anyway. When he deals with America, he knows that he's dealing with big power. But he's not going to be steamrolled over. Yeah. But he's a complex figure. And over time, an all-rounded perspective of Lee Kuan Yew will emerge in Singapore, which will not reduce his greatness, which may affect some of the hagiography, but which will present him as a human being, as a political leader who was remarkable, but who had his own blind spots and faults. Yeah.
That's interesting because you mentioned the Thucydides trap, and that was a very Western perspective. But the theorist that produced that was Graham Allinson, who also thought Lee Kuan Yew was the greatest statesman of the 20th century, which is quite interesting. Last question.
Hi, I'm Ivan Wagner. You've been around the world, know a lot of civilizations and cultures, but let's stay in Singapore. What are you most proud about to be a Singaporean?
Okay. What is the Singapore idea? If you become a Singaporean, do you become smaller or do you become bigger? Let's say you're a Chinese citizen and you give up your Chinese passport and you become a Singaporean. Well, that's a big diminution. No? If you're European, you become Singaporean because we don't allow dual nationalities. So to me, a Singaporean should enlarge you, not reduce you. That if you're Hungarian, you become Singaporean. Please be Hungarian. Please be proud of your heritage. We only ask of you one thing. Have a heart big enough and a mind broad enough to accept people not like yourself. Then you become Singaporean. In other words, to be Singaporean is to add additional lines of code which link you to others. I would be proud of such a Singapore. I would not be proud of a Singapore which says, you're Hungarian, you better forget being Hungarian. You're now Singaporean. Then we become small. Yeah. This is a struggle. This is a struggle. Yeah.
But one you've overcome, I think. Well, I think that draws proceedings to a close. That was obviously the audience didn't have to ask to applaud you. They did it spontaneously, George. So thank you, Mr. Yew. Thank you, Choba. And thank you, Victor.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹饪。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧。